Hey, I'm Linus Klausenitzer and I'm playing bass for Eternity's End.
So Linus, of course, he already played in our first album, The Fire Within, and of course I toured a lot with Linus when he was in Obscura and I was in Obscura, and the funny thing is that we were never on an Obscura album together, but we've always been making music together the entire time. I mean, we played together in Alkaloid. He plays on my second solo album. Back in the day when it came to Unyielding, he was very busy with Obscura, and then we got Mike in the band, but then we noticed with these international lineups, it's just very difficult, you know, to have musicians coming from different continents with the little budgets that we get at this stage we're right in to do live shows. And so when it came to looking for a bass player from Germany, it was the first choice because we know we get along super well. We know he's an amazing player. He loves power metal and classical metal, always did. So yeah, he's definitely the perfect choice for that band, and he delivered an amazing job.
My approach of bass playing in Eternity's End is quite different to the bands that I guess people know me most for, Obscura, Obsidious, Alkaloid. In those bands I like to get the bass from a little bit away from its own, from its normal role as just a rhythm instrument, and I like to add some melodic elements to it. But in Eternity's End there are a lot of melodic elements already, and the guitars and the clean vocals add a lot of melody, so I don't see that role for me in that band at all. So I just feel myself as a rhythm bassist, a rhythm instrument that fulfills the musical vision that Christian Münzner has, who is the main songwriter. It reminds me a lot of my musical roots. I grew up with power metal, heavy metal, and there were many nights where I was having beers with Christian Münzner and the tour bus, and we enjoyed listening to Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, different things. And yeah, that's why I enjoy this band so much. Talking about the bass gear that I used on the album. I used two basses mostly. One of them is this Ibanez EHP bass. It's very new. As you can see, it's headless, and yeah, it's great for playing fast. It's a piccolo bass actually, and you can play very clear melodies on it. It has a very fast attack, and that's why I enjoy a lot. You can see there's a lot of tapping on the album, so that's why I put this thing here. So the open strings are muted during tapping. Yeah. So this is one bass I used, and this is another one I use. It's a very nostalgic thing. Since I started playing heavy metal on a Fender Jazz bass, I wanted to use this one again to get this clicky noises from, I don't know, my Steve Harris influences, I guess. I just used it here and there, just of nostalgic reasons, I guess. Talking about strings, I use Ernie Ball strings. For this album, I completely used Cobalt strings. They have a very sharp sound, and it's not the very typical choice of a bassist, but they have, like I said, a very sharp, crispy, rhythmical sound, and that's what I enjoy. It adds a lot of dirt and precision. That's what I like about them. Yeah, and what I changed a little bit was on the new album, I went along with the guitars more often for tapping elements in guitar, fast guitar lines and things like that. It's more virtuous than the first album, I would say.